competition. My city, my music, yeah, we claiming the crown. Best podcast running in this whole town. Extreme cuts, turn the speakers up loud. Extreme cuts standing tall in the crowd.
Who made the cut? Who made the cut? Who made the cut?
What's up, y'all? Hey, how y'all doing today? It is April. Coming at you.
It's actually August, ma'am.
It is August, but it's April. April and August. Queen Cutter. And welcome to Extreme Cuts Podcast, My City, My Music. Today is a special show, so we're just going to get straight to it. Today we're talking about votes, the election. We're going to go into a couple of things, and we're going to talk about some stuff that I researched, and we're going to try to get y'all the best answers. Like I say, the hotline is open, so if you want to call up, you can do so. And the hotline is open. Yep, I got the other one. All right, over here. And y'all can call and ask questions. So sitting in front of me is Miss Thompson. And if you don't know who Miss Thompson is, she is currently the license collector here in our city in St. Louis. And if you want to get like, is it the birth certificates? So let me ask that. What all do you handle?
I license all businesses in the city of St. Louis.
Okay.
So just like you have to have a driver's license to drive, you have to have a license to do business in the city of St. Louis.
Okay. Okay. So how many years have you been in service? Because I know you're currently.
Yes, I've been there since 2013.
Okay, 2013. Okay. So I've never, and I'm with Justin on that. I know that over time, different things have changed as far as rules and regulations. But as far as the businesses is concerned, I've never heard it being very difficult to start a business. You know, if you have all your information together and you got your stuff, I don't think it's a hard process to get your stuff together.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to me as myself. I just Justin kind of has been coaching me and teaching me a lot about getting my podcast business going. So so I've never heard any bad recoil as far as you sitting in the seat for so many years. So me personally, I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, that's what we always say.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I that's just my opinion. I was there, and whenever Precious Jones gets into the Zoom, she'll be joining us on the show today. And I definitely just sent it to her, so I'm waiting on her to pick up. But I went to a meeting that had a lot of candidates for St. Louis, and that's where I met Miss Thompson at. And Miss Thompson was gracious enough to come and talk to us about her seat and her importance here in the city of St. Louis. I did get a chance to meet your candidate. He has a different approach. I'll say different approach. I'll say that. I have my opinions, but to each his own. Please go back and research. That was also on my live a couple of weeks ago, I think last Monday, but I'll go back and I'll highlight his name because I don't know his name. But he had a couple of he gave some suggestions, I suppose, of things that he thought would be more efficient, I guess, of going about doing. I guess in my experience, I never had a bad experience. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting my stuff together, like I say, the process we got as far as my stuff, we were done in one day.
And see, what people don't understand is that we don't make the rules at the license collector's office. We're not the executive branch, the mayor's office. We're also not the legislative branch, the board of alder people. But the license collector is a creature of state statute. We are a
Okay.
county office in a city, not within a county. And so
Okay.
we have to follow those rules that have already been set.
Okay.
And so I think that people really don't understand that, about how the money comes in and where the money is supposed to go. I have a pamphlet that I can share with you, and
Absolutely.
it talks about, all of those things about how the office is created,
Okay.
and also where the money has to go. We
Okay.
don't make those decisions.
Okay.
But on some of the things, those are my statutory duties. And that is why people elect me, because I'm good at my statutory duties.
Okay.
Collecting the license fees and making sure that they go to the right place that they're supposed to go.
Okay.
The state auditors came in, said the office was well managed. Both of the comptrollers, Comptroller Darlene Green and now Comptroller Behringer, they both said no deficiencies in whichever department that in the license collector's office, whichever section that they did an audit on. So
Okay.
as you say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But we don't stop just at our statutory duties, and I can talk more about that.
Please.
But the whole thing is that there are rules and regulations that are already in place that we have to follow at the license collector's office. And as long as you are a good corporate citizen, and so what I mean by that you paid your taxes, that you paid your earnings tax, if you have employees, that you have workers' comp insurance for them, those sorts of things, that's all it takes to get a license.
Okay. So I know that, like I say, the taxes. So I want to touch down on the taxes, because the taxes is a big thing that's going to be affected in this election. And how will this amendment affect the License Bureau office as far as financially?
Well, I don't think that those taxes, they're talking about the income tax, and you're talking about Amendment 5.
Okay.
Amendment 5 on the ballot is a constitutional amendment for the Missouri Constitution. And I just call it the everything tax,
Okay.
because they want to take away, phase out the income tax. We already know what the income tax is about. We already know how to pay it. We've been paying it for, however long it's been in place. And now they want to do away with that tax. And so anytime that you do away with a pot of money, you got to fill it with another pot of money, right?
Right.
And so that pot of money, that's what I call the everything tax. Everything is going to be taxed now, if this amendment passes. And so I can't tell anybody else who or what to vote for, but I'm voting no on Amendment 5. Stick with the thing that the income tax. But
Okay.
now just imagine you will go to the get your nails done or your hair done, tax, groceries, tax, oil in your car, tax, shoe shine, tax. I mean, we don't have extra tax on those things right now. But the whole thing is that whenever you take away a pot of money, you got to replace it with another source of money.
Right.
And so right now they're talking about taxing everything that we do. And you know who that's going to affect. It's going to affect, our seniors. It's going to affect those of us that are, moderately income or even lower income. It's going to affect that. We're not used to paying those sorts of taxes. We already know the income tax. Stick with that.
Right. Absolutely. And I agree 100% with everything that you're saying on that, and I am in agreement with voting no. I haven't even. I don't even want to go there.
I hear
we
you.
go there in just a second, but not right now.
Mm-hmm.
We go stick to what we got going out here as far as what you handle, as far as the small businesses.
Okay.
Now,
and so I'm going to show you this pamphlet
Okay.
right here. And so it talks about who the taxes benefit. So,
Okay.
for instance, they're in 3 different buckets. You have the municipal taxes, and those are for the retail stores, gas stations, or something like that.
Okay.
Their taxes are based off of that. How
Okay.
many employees that you have working for you.
okay.
Again, I don't set those rules. Those
Right.
rules are already set by state statute, and also the Board of Aldermen can introduce an ordinance that would affect about the taxes.
Okay.
And so the general revenue fund, when you pay into that with these municipal taxes out of that, go to the police department, fire department, public safety, parks and recs, those places.
Okay.
Almost set in stone right now.
Yeah.
You know, now they can change in the future, but right now that's where they go. That's what I have to follow. I can't make up something by saying, okay, well, you're a large business like some of these other people out there are talking about. Oh, well, a large business should pay the taxes for everybody. Well, that's not the way it is right now.
That's right.
All right. And so manufacturing taxes, and probably Anheuser is our largest manufacturer
Okay.
here in the city. And so they go by their equipment that they're used. It's called an ad valorem tax, but just to make it simple, it's their tax on the type of equipment that they use
Okay.
and the stationary equipment that they have.
Okay.
And so those taxes are called manufacturing taxes, and very important. Again, they go to the Community Children's Fund, Community College, Missouri Sewer District, State Fund for the Blind, St. Louis Public Schools, our zoo, our public library. Again, those are set by state statute and by city ordinances, by the Board of Aldermen. And then next you have the hotel motel tax. Now, what we did do with the hotel motel tax,
Okay.
because, you know, when you go to a room, it has taxes added on to
Yes.
it. And so those taxes, some of them come back to the General Revenue Fund, and they also go to the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
And so what I did probably now about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, don't have the exact dates in my mind, but I got together with where the largest pot of hotel motel taxes go to the convention center. I got with the convention center and I just said, hey, we got Airbnb coming in here. They're not paying any taxes at all. It's not fair. It's not fair for the others that are renting out rooms and have to pay money in the hotels and the motel. Let's try to do something about it. It took us right at 2 years or better to get agreement with Airbnb that they would pay their fair share of taxes.
Okay.
And now we're bringing into the city of St. Louis this general revenue fund and the hotel motel fund. We're bringing in all of this extra money. When we first started, it was 1.2 million.
Okay.
We're almost up to 2.1 million with the revenue
in
that
that-
just comes
and
in
just-
from Airbnb.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. You got to think out the box. Yeah, we
Okay.
got these taxes and stuff written in stone and how they're supposed to be. But if you get in the office, you have that experience, you got the vision, you
Yeah.
have the intellect, you know, all of those things, you can make something different happen. And that's what we've done in the license collector's office.
And see, that's crazy because, like you say, you just stepped off into another branch that's not. But you see how all of these different entities work hand in hand to help each other. If we get hit with all of these taxes, it is going to be harder for the business owner to be able to hold up the business being taxed like this. It's going to be devastating for them to be able to hold the store up because you're not going to be able to afford to go in there and purchase these things. Everything will be taxed by law. That's
And
the
right,
state
and we
law.
can't expect the businesses to keep, you know, like with these tariffs that are started by the, you know, the powers to be up in
yeah, for
Washington,
sure.
up in Washington
Yeah,
D.C. Not
absolutely.
mentioning any names,
Exactly.
but those things, you know. So the businesses can only, you know, absorb that so much before they pass it on to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you already see, you know, eggs don't cost the same that they did, you know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know. None of the groceries, you know, you got to kind of pick and choose. Okay, am I going to get a dozen of eggs this time or maybe just 6 eggs? 'Cause, I mean, you know, I'm making these things up, but they
people
are,
are
but
going
they're
through
true.
this.
They're
Yeah.
going through it. It's everyday people.
Yeah.
And who is this hurting? It's hurting us.
Yeah.
Us that live in the inner city. And then on top of that, we had the tornado to come in. So we've lost a lot of that personal property tax and things like that that people would pay that live there.
Yeah.
They're displaced now.
Yeah.
And so we're in, you know, St. Louis is in a rut, so to speak, trying to climb back up with all of these things, and don't add on other taxes.
Yeah, simple as that. Like I say, I'm in agreement with it. When I found out about all of the places it affect, like you said, the zoo, that is one of the biggest things about St. Louis Zoo, as far as our zoo being free,
Sure.
a free
Entertainment.
free entertainment, free tourist site,
Educational.
very educational. To come for children to learn, all summer long. And it's free. It's been free since I was a child.
Right.
So that's 40 plus years.
Exactly.
That it's
Exactly.
been free.
Sure.
And so like I say, and now here we come. And we're putting an amendment into place that might take that away and might cause, that's like I say, the beauty of our city.
Sure.
And to me, I don't mind. To be honest with you, they take the taxes out. I don't even see it. I'm be honest with you.
I don't see how you can vote for it in good conscience.
Yeah,
I really don't.
to be
I really
honest
don't.
with you, like I say, it's just gonna affect so many different things around our city. And
then too, you know about Amendment 4?
Yeah, so I know it's got something to do with like the abortions and the abortions, the different gambling, the Missouri license, the Missouri lottery.
I don't want everybody to focus on abortions, because the whole thing is that Planned Parenthood did much more than abortions. And
Right.
who should abortions be up to?
Yeah, the
You-
individual person.
Your God
Absolutely,
and the doctor.
absolutely.
Why should we be all up in somebody
That's
else's
right.
bedroom?
That's right.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm a Christian. I don't know what your religion is, but people are talking about Christian values and things like that. It's still everything that you do is left up to you and your God.
That's right.
And so, I don't want to stop at abortions, but we go back to right to life. We just go back to all of these different initiative petitions. We Power, talking about
Yeah.
early childhood education. That was a petition that they had to get signatures. And when the people want something, they're going around, they're getting petitions, they put them into place, and then you can vote on
Yes.
that. But what they want to do is take away the rule of the people, the power of the people, weaken the power of the people. And the way that they're gerrymandering, carving out these districts, we looked right here in the city, right here in the state of Missouri, we've already lost a congressman because of their redistricting.
Yeah.
People didn't want that. They signed signatures that saying, we don't want it.
Yeah.
We don't want it.
Yes.
And then, so what do the people do that are in office? They're giving us a finger. They're giving you the
Yeah.
finger, saying, hey, we don't care what y'all say. This is what we're going to do.
Yep.
And so you're taking away the power of the people. Can't tell you who to vote for, what to vote for. I'm voting no on 4.
That's right. Like I say, the 4 has so many different entities to it. Like I say, you guys have to read it. But with the lottery, with these different gambling, the reason why it's a subject is because they have to give a certain amount of tax to different areas. So like the Missouri gambling, they're supposed to donate so much money towards schooling. These different corporations don't, like I say, the sporting betting, a certain amount of money is supposed to go towards the tax in the city. So that's why, but to me, like I say, to each his own. Some people, that's a form of entertainment to them. You know what I mean? So like I say, it's another thing that makes St. Louis so great to me. The fact that we have different options to do what we want to do.
Sure.
The free.
Right.
And as you said, these 2 right here, 4 and 5, is so important. And
Yes.
that's why I dedicated my entire show to talk about this, because I'm going to get outside. We're going to get these young people together. We're going to get people registered. We got a couple of days left, and it ain't too late.
Well, it
So-
is too late to register for the August election.
Okay.
That date ended on when you had to register to vote.
Okay, please teach me. Talk to me.
Register to vote. And so that's one of the reasons why we tried to get into the high schools to let folks know if you're going to be 18 by the time that the election comes,
Okay.
then you're eligible to vote. And so not only are you eligible, but you need to educate yourself. Like you said at the very beginning, you have people on. You got the League of Women Voters has a voter guide in the Post-Dispatch.
Absolutely.
All you need to do is go onto their website, put your address and things on there, and
Yes.
boom, it'll come up. Because I bought my ballot with me today, but my ballot doesn't do everybody any good unless they stay in
Yep.
my state representative
Exactly.
or senatorial district.
Exactly.
You just have the other races that are on there. Of course, the city races are on there. But the thing is that if you live in a different district, I can't give you my ballot to fill out.
Exactly.
You have to know
Exactly.
about your own folks. So in my district 79 for our state representative, Lakeisha Bosley is being term limited out. She's
Okay.
done a magnificent job in that. But now they have term limits, and so it's term limited out.
Okay.
And so with her, now you got 4 or 5 different people running for that position.
Okay.
And so again, I can't tell you who to vote for, but you got to educate yourself.
Absolutely.
And don't let anybody tell you that you can't bring somebody with you to go into the polling place. If you're elderly, you can maybe ask for, and you don't have that permanent disability ballot and everything.
Yeah.
You can ask for curbside voting. How many people knew that?
Right.
Okay, if you're at the hospital,
didn't know that. I
if
didn't
you're
know it was
in the
curbside.
hospital and you're already registered to vote, you can call and election protection and let them know that, hey, I'm trying to vote from my hospital bed.
Okay.
Get somebody over here to do that. And so there's so many different ways that we have, but if you don't know about them,
Absolutely.
then you feel disenfranchised.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And I will admit, like I say, I'm teaching myself a lot now, because once it was broken down to me, what was at stake this time, I was just like, oh, this is crazy. And like I say, I'm in my 40s, and like I say, I remember my grandmother as a child. I'm not sure what was going on, but here in Missouri, there was buses that were going out to Washington, D.C., and people, women, were getting on this bus going out to fight for women's rights. And like I say, I'm in my 40s. This happened, like I say, was going on, before I was born, but I came into it.
Sure.
So, like I say, it wasn't that long ago. It's the point that I'm proving that that they were fighting for these different laws.
Right.
And like I say, as a community, we can't allow. And that's why I say no vote is the same as a bad vote in this situation.
As a no, as
yeah.
don't voting at all.
Not voting at all
into some people.
is a bad thing. That's because then there's not, if you don't vote, you know what I mean, it doesn't give you a good chance of getting it. You know what I mean?
So if you don't vote, how can you complain about what's going on in the
Absolutely.
city and what's happening
Absolutely.
in the country? How can you complain about that if you didn't even contribute?
Right.
Just contribute. People have died.
Yes.
People have died for our
Yes.
right to vote. And you see it's being turned back again from the powers to be up in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We got to stand up for our rights.
Yes.
Stand up.
Yes, it's that time, y'all. I hate to say it, but it is that time. Like I say, it's too much on the line right now. It's so many different things on the line. Like I say, this time ain't even enough to really discuss it and talk about it because, like she said, the different areas that you're in, there's different people that are being elected in it, and you'll have to know and have to do the research in your community to know the different people. That's why I had to kind of, because that's why I say I had to educate myself because I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know. That's why I say the different wards, the 14
Sure.
wards, and how it was broken down, and how you had the aldermen that are over these different wards, and so I
And
was
committee
like,
people.
definitely. So I was just like, all of these core people that's right there that we pay. Again, you know what I mean? This is what tax dollars pay for. And these are the things that are on the line.
Right.
The people that will help to, like she said, change different bills for you. If you see a issue with something, again, judges, if they're in the seat and you don't like what judges are doing, you can vote for those judges out or in. Like, it's an option. So if they're not doing what they're supposed to do as far as making the community better, then you can make a choice.
Right.
And like I say, it's very important. I'm telling you, and I repeat, I am not a political person at all, but I see what's at stake here. I understand the importance of not just St. Louis itself, but my skin color. And I'm going to go there, and I'm going to say that. The things that black people as a whole have overcome, and the fact that the speech as a woman, as a black woman, and no, I've never had an abortion before, but damn it, you're not going to tell me what to do with my body if I choose that I want to have one.
Amen.
That's my business.
Amen. Amen.
And it's I shouldn't have to discuss that with the government.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
it's just getting to be
Exactly.
way overboard of what my reasoning may be as to why there's so many different people going through so many different things.
Right.
You see these cases now, these fathers are sleeping with daughters. We just saw that case of a father that just went to jail for that.
Wow.
And they found that out. I think it was it wasn't here in St. Louis.
Right.
But they just found the case similar.
Sure.
Like I say, there's different scenarios that's going on out here, and I just don't feel like you should take somebody's right to make that decision.
Exactly.
You should be able to govern your own body, and like you said, that is between you and your God or whatever.
Yes.
That's just between you.
Absolutely.
Like you said, your doctor.
Absolutely.
Whoever.
But that's why I said, don't just focus on abortion. There
Definitely
have been
not.
many initiative petitions by the people of things that they wanted. Like I said, early childhood education. You know, why take all the money and give it, to a parochial school, which I went to Lutheran schools, or give it to them. Public education is a right. It's a right.
It's a right, and it's just, I just don't understand how you can take from children. Let's just cut it just plain and dry. That is the future. That is what you're supposed to be investing in order to run our country. If you don't invest in them, then who's going to be the next president?
Right.
Who is going to be? So it's insane to me.
Right.
I know there's a breakdown in that as far as the special school district and the funding that goes to the special school district. Also a problem for me because I have children in my family, immediate family,
that have special
needs. That use these resources, and I don't feel like they should be put into regular population. And I don't feel like the teachers should be forced to teach all of these children that they're trying to.
Nobody learns the same way.
Nobody learns the same way.
Even if you don't even have a special need, everybody doesn't learn the same way
at all.
Exactly.
So it is crazy what we're going through right now, and if you don't open your eyes and see, and like I said, that kind of hurts me that it's too late to get more people registered because I did not know what the time frame was, and that was my plan, was to go and find that out because I just found out that St. Anne Complex was doing some registering. Yeah. And I had a couple of young adults that wanted to come and register. Yeah. That was watching and following friends of my family.
Yeah, it's too late for August. It's not too late for the midterms.
Okay. Well, like I say, we're still going to work and get them in there.
Exactly. But and I'll work with you on that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I said, the thing is that they said, oh, well, you can't go into high schools, and campaign. I'm not going to campaign. I'm going for information, to give them information. I don't even mention what I do and what I do. Oh, vote for me, vote for me. I know that I can't do that. Yeah. I'm not trying to do that. But somebody needs to go in and educate our youth on what's on the ballot, what's the timeline that you have to register, how old you have to be, what kind of ID you got to bring, all of those things.
Absolutely.
We need continue to do that. And I'm actually getting kind of emotional because I'm the type of person that I sat at the feet of the elders.
Yeah.
And I learned.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing such a big separation now of sitting at the feet of the elders, and learning. And even sitting at the feet of the elders and learning what's right and what's wrong.
Seriously.
Because not all the elders were so wise and
Nope.
everything that they told you the right thing to do.
Right.
But again, sitting at the feet of the elders, because we all have to work together. And so, you got the wisdom of those that are elderly, and then you got the fighting strength of the young.
That's
and
right.
so we all got to work together, and that's what I believe in. And like I said, I'm getting kind of emotional because I'm remembering all the promises that I made to the elders to keep the elections and the issues that are out there in front and to teach the young children. And I think that I've let the elders down.
No,
and so
not
I'm getting
at all.
kind of emotional
You haven't.
about that.
You've been
Yeah.
doing your part, and you've been working over the years. Like I say, I did do research as far as how many years
Yes.
you've been sitting in the seat after that meeting that they had. And I was just like I say, when I saw you going back and forth during the debate
Yes.
with this gentleman, that was the thing that drew me to you.
Thank you so much,
knew
sister. Thank
about you knew about our city. You knew about different things that was going on, and like I say, you highlighted the fact that, hey, I don't just do this. I jump over here and I help them do this over here.
Right,
And I help them do this over here. And basically, if you're not gonna have the same energy that I have to take this seat, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep on fighting.
Absolutely.
And you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If that's
I still
the thing.
got gas in the tank.
That's right. You sure said it.
Still got
you
gas
sure
in
said
the
it.
tank.
I was cracking up. I said, I know that's right. I said, because it kind of upsets
Yeah,
me
right.
that people think that because you're older that you still not that you're not capable of delivering like you've been delivering.
Right.
And like you say, we do need the wise, you know what I mean, to lead us and to teach us and show
Yes.
us the different ways that they have moved in the system
Right.
and how they stood. Like you have seen times change as far as being able to, like I say, at one point, as far as businesses was concerned, it was hard to get a business. I experienced that myself with getting a building in barbering.
Yeah.
We had to have a lot of things permit wise together as far as the building, and I learned during that experience. I was like, wow, I didn't think it was this deep.
Right.
Like I got all my credentials. I done went to school. I got my information. I done bought this little building. I done painted the walls up, made it look all nice.
But you have to
And-
understand now, with the
Rules and
building,
regulations.
division for the city of St. Louis, it's got to be a safe environment.
Yeah.
You got to have sprinklers. You have to have your fire
Yep.
inspection and things like
It's
that.
true.
And so it may sound like a lot.
It do.
Yeah,
It is.
sound like a lot. But just
And like
think if
I
somebody
say-
get hurt up in your building.
Right, and like
You
I
know.
say, I didn't think. Not saying that I didn't think about
Yeah.
the safety of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But I didn't think about how deep they
Right.
got into the situation.
Right,
Because
right.
I was just like, dang, I just got this building, like. And like I say, I done painted up the walls
Right,
and did all
right,
this work
right.
and made it look all cute and fancy, and they in here with a ruler.
Right,
like,
right, exactly.
this sink is too close to each
Exactly,
other. Now
exactly.
you gotta tear this up,
Right.
and this gotta be 22
Right.
inches apart, and these drains gotta be so far apart.
Right, right.
And I mean, they got into it.
So that's why we're saying,
Yeah.
those type of things you can come and find out early at the license collector's office. But I wanted to go into, what we were talking about going outside of your regular statutory duties.
Yes.
Not only collecting the money, distributing the money the way it's supposed to be, being audited so that they can see that the money's not personally going into my pocket and things like that.
Right.
And so we introduced, and I said introduce, some of the people on the board of aldermen, we introduced to them concepts that they could take and make into law.
Okay.
And so the very first one that we did was called ban the box. Okay, ban the box. So you have committed a felony, you've gone to jail, you've served your time, and you're off paper, as the streets say. You're off paper. And so why should you be denied a job because they see that you checked this box that you're a felon? You're no longer a felon. You serve your time.
That's right.
All right. And so we said ban the box. And so now, because I brought that idea to one of the alder people, then now we have ban the box throughout the city of St. Louis.
Okay.
Also, home occupation. And so what does that mean? I took that idea to the Board of Aldermen, and that was all about how much people have to pay. A license is basically about $200 a year. You know,
Okay.
it goes up according to the number of employees that you have and all of that. But if you're doing a business out of your home,
Right.
and it's just you and maybe your mama, you know, the thing is that the license fee is $25.
Okay.
25.
Okay.
25.
Okay.
Okay, $25. Of course, you have to go through a use hearing with the building division, because again, they got to come in your house. You just can't just go and do some Jiffy Pop and start selling that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you got to make sure your temperature, your oil is correct. You know, that
Okay.
the popcorn is not molded, the seeds and all of that. And so I'm using that as an example.
Right, exactly.
All right. But home occupation businesses, the license is $25.
It's $25.
Also, the other thing that we took to the Board of Aldermen, well, we were talking about these food trucks.
Okay.
And they started teasing me by saying, when I said, "Hey, who wants to have streets without no street meat?" And so they started laughing about that, because you go to other cities and they have the food truck there, they got the restaurant there. I mean, and some of these food trucks, man, are off the chain.
Delicious.
They dynamite.
The
But you
best.
know, we have so many zoning laws, and they can't sit here. And then you got the big people, you know, coming out saying, "Oh, well, I'm saving this space for John," you know, and things like that. And so when the NAACP came to me saying that the black and brown food truck folks were having a hard time with their businesses. And so we got together with them, and every year we just had our 6th food truck festival,
Okay.
annual food truck festival.
Okay.
The other thing that we do a lot of forums. And so the forums can be anywhere from how to fill out your license
Okay.
to also one that we did was on daycare centers. Okay, so daycare centers, they need, I don't remember exactly how many hours that they need to get their state license.
Right.
Okay, and so just say they need so many hours to get their state license, and we did a 8-hour form, and they got 8 hours toward probably the 10 or 12 hours that they needed to get their license.
Okay.
We've had forums, and so and also we've opened up City Hall Rotunda. You know, you
Okay.
come there and it was empty, and I was like, man, what a great place to have people come in and sell their wares, you know, right there in City Hall.
Okay.
And so we do that. We tried to do it once a month, but you know, with staffing changes, and people can't leave their businesses and pack up everything and come to City Hall. So we know, I know that we do at least 4 or 5 a year.
Okay.
And so we still try to do them every month. So again, you're talking about thinking out of the box. You need vision, but you got to stay within the law. So when these people are saying, "Oh, we can do this," and small businesses shouldn't have to pay any license at all, how does the city live?
Yeah. Absolutely.
How does the city live?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, and I'm sorry that I'm getting so passionate
No,
about
it's
it.
serious
but
because
yeah.
I mean it affects life.
Exactly.
You guys don't understand. Like, it is gonna be devastating if they pass these laws.
Yes.
If you've gone to other states, like I said, and experienced California, as far as all the different taxes that they pay,
Right.
they literally pay for everything. It makes no sense. Their gas prices is high as hell.
Yes.
I'm like, why are y'all paying? I mean, it was like maybe $8 a gallon.
Right.
And I was just like, $8 a gallon.
Right.
And it kind of upset me because I wanted to drive around. I wanted to tour the city, but
Exactly.
at $8 a gallon, I'm not about to be riding around here and touring this city like
Right,
this.
right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's always been a comfortable feeling when you come to St. Louis, even as a tourist, not just as a person living here. Like, it's a balance.
Yes.
Like, I know that they're taking a little bit of money out of everything.
Sure.
You know,
But
I
you
get
still
that.
got low cost of living compared
You
to
really
other
do.
places.
You really do, y'all.
And you
We
have
got
the
resources
best attractions here in St. Louis that
Best
nobody else
attractions.
ever had. We got the
Yes.
number one park, you know, the only is free, if it's another one, I don't know about them.
Right.
You know, free zoo in the world.
Science
you know,
Center.
people come from all over the
Yes.
world, like you say, the Science Center. And then all of the cultural history that you have.
Yes.
You know, all of the cultural history. But I also want to talk about, you know, something else that we did when we first came to the license collector's office in 2013. Automation.
Okay.
And so we know that we still have to print some stuff because we have seniors that are still trying to learn.
Okay.
You know, and trying to, you know, find out, and they don't know how to use the computer.
Okay.
But again, we got to start teaching our seniors, and that's what we do at our senior forum. We have one of them every year, just for the seniors.
Okay.
And so we had the fire department, the board of election, the police department coming in, somebody coming in and telling you how to use your smartphone and all of that. And we feed them well. They have breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
And then they have a little baggie to take home with them, plus all of the information. But going back to automation, the thing that we did was we knew about automation because we had done automation when I was the circuit clerk years before.
Okay.
Okay. And so we took that knowledge and that experience that we had, and we brought it to the license collector's office. When we first got there, they were still using carbon paper and everything. And we were like, really? Carbon paper? Come on now. Just put the stuff on the computer.
Right.
You know, why we got to, you know, do and multiple copies. Green copy went over here. Yellow copy went over there. And we were like, what kind of place is this?
Yes.
So and then too, somebody challenged me by saying, well, you can't get your license online. Honey, that was the first thing that I worked on, to make sure that you could get your license online, because nobody is going to call Mavis Tessa Thompson a liar. So we worked on that. And so now you can do your license online, except for, you know, at the very first time that you're doing a business. We got to see you. You got to present your ID. And then after that, everything's online. You can pay online. We joined up with this automation team called Pay It. They had the Pay It system, and so myself, Gregory X Daily, he does that. He's on Pay It. The courts are on Pay It, and so again, just thinking out of the box and knowing people, relationships.
Yes.
It takes you. You know, you just can't go in there with a fake and phony. You got to build up relationship with these people. They have to trust you to get things done. And so automation is number one. The other thing the reason why I want to stay in office is not only to continue automation, because although we started right there with the business licenses and things, we kept on talking. Every meeting that we had with the executive branch, we said we need more automation, where different departments talk to each other on the computer instead of going down the hall, then you got to go upstairs, then you got to go around the corner.
Absolutely.
But that's not me. And I think that's what people are complaining about, you know, about, hey, we got to go to so many different places. But again, working on that.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is that collaboration, like I said, with relationships. We had a very new director of St. Louis Development Corporation.
Okay.
And so that's who you go through to get grant funding and things for all of the things, especially after the tornado.
Okay.
And so I went to Mr. Westbrooks. He's very new on the job, not even there a year, only a few months. And I said, can you promise to work with me to get grant funding, not loans, grant funding for all of these businesses that have been impacted in the city of St. Louis, mainly in North St. Louis.
Yeah.
The majority in North St. Louis. Can you work with me to get grant funding for them? And he said, yes, he would. So I want to stay there stay in the office for that as well.
Okay.
And then the third thing is that, again, to work with the Board of Aldermen.
Okay.
To work with them to pass other parts of legislation that can come into place, just like we did with the Home Act, just like we did with the Food Truck Festival, just like we did with Ban the Box.
Okay.
You know, all of those things. And it takes vision, it takes knowledge, It takes collaboration.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
all that I have.
Yes, I know that's right. And like I say, to be honest with you, you've been doing it over the years. Your track record is public record. They can go and they can look and see the achievements.
And let me tell you about this,
behind it.
sister. You're talking about track record.
Yes.
And doing things that are not in your, specifically statutory duties.
Yes.
People were talking about protesting. Now, I couldn't get out there and protest because on certain issues because they were like, if they don't do it, shut it down. Well, no, my motto is to keep businesses in business,
That's
not
right.
to shut them down.
That's
but
right.
was I out there fighting for fight for 15? Yes. We were the first office in City Hall to go to $15 an hour.
Okay.
Then we went to $17.79. Now we're at $20.
Okay.
So, hey, we're fighting for those things. We also been out there for anything that had to do with especially unions. I come from a union family.
Okay.
So not only did we do that, we did the coal miners. We did the right to work, which was a whole stupid way of saying it. People think, oh, right to work, that means a lot. It was taking away your ability to join a union.
Okay.
All right. And so out there fighting for anything that has to do, and I'll tell you an interesting story.
Please.
And so the thing is, when we saw that there weren't any black and brown people working on the expansion of Highway 70.
Okay.
All right. And so we're getting ready to go down the ramp and lay down on the highway protesting, right?
Okay.
And so we looked at each other, myself and my lawyer, we looked at each other and said, well, hey, if we lay down on the highway, who gonna bail the people out? So we came on back up, we went straight to the jail, and we started bailing people out. Who do we bailed out? The people that were here in St. Louis, and also the people that came. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton,
Yeah.
all of them came to protest with us.
Yeah.
And so don't let anybody tell you that the sister don't still have some fight out there to protest.
That's right.
Oh, she too old, she can't get out there, she don't protest. But I'm not going to get out there and protest without a plan.
Right.
What is your
Right.
plan?
Yeah.
And it can't be shut it down.
Yeah.
Because we trying to keep businesses in business.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So those are the type of things that we do under the license collector, Mavis Tessa Thompson.
And that's why I say that's crazy because, I mean, like I say, all of these entities work together. And to be honest with you, like I say, I'm just becoming knowledgeable of everything that you do. I never, like I say, that meeting was everything for me because I was able to hear you guys go back and forth in the passion that you have for our city and the passion for the work that you're doing. That's the type of energy that I want for somebody representing us in the city. Like I say, I want somebody that I can approach. I want an approachable person. I don't want the some of these candidates, they act like they Hollywood movie stars. You know what I'm saying? You can't contact them. You can't, and that's crazy. How can I not? Why am I not able to contact you when I'm paying you?
Exactly.
I'm paying you, and I'm not able to get you on the phone, or I'm not able to get information.
Exactly.
I know another thing that.
And then you're my boss.
Yeah.
You're my boss.
Yeah.
The public is my
Because
boss
we
because
hire and fire.
because you voted for me.
We vote
and
you
that's the
in
way
and
to
out.
hire and fire elected
we hire and
officials.
fire.
You vote for them or don't vote for them.
Yes. Yeah.
All right?
But
Yeah.
I can't reach you, and you're not reachable.
Yes.
And so
Always, and I always tell everybody, hey, I have so many relationships down there at City Hall. Give me a call. You don't have to. It doesn't always have to be about the business license. Just give me a call. If I don't know, I'll point you in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. And like I say, I don't know who this new guy is. And he did admit that he's only been running for in the politics, I guess, a year or so, I believe he said. And I don't want to quote him wrong, so I apologize if I quoted your time wrong. But I guess that's the thing that also had my interest veered towards you, because I don't want a new face coming in the middle of us being in a crisis. Like right now, we got so much recovery that we need to do.
Absolutely.
And I need someone that knows what we went through
Absolutely.
in order to help us to get out of it. I was driving through the tornado at the time. I
Oh,
was
wow.
working for the public school district
Yes.
at the time, for Chartwell at the time. I was on Kings Highway and Natural Bridge, one of the main branches for the public school district. So a lot of the schools that were damaged and affected were in were the schools that we were servicing.
Yes.
And they had to combine schools in order to repair certain schools in order to get them ready for the new upcoming school year so that they can go back.
Yes.
Some didn't get a chance to reopen
Right.
because the world around is so crazy.
And then too, because the children have been displaced.
All of that.
Because their
It's-
house was just
Yes.
irreparable.
And
you
I'm
know.
getting ready to go there
Yes.
because some of them, so I'm getting ready to go there.
Yeah.
The buildings were taped down because of the tornado. The buildings were marked as condemned. But this is how bad it was. These families didn't have homes. These families didn't have food. These families, and so these people were stealing.
Yeah.
Okay, desperate times, and they were in desperate situations. They were stealing out of the schools, stealing, trying to,
To survive.
Yeah,
To
it
survive.
got bad in the area. Things that the public or the local news doesn't shine light on.
Yeah.
Things that I know personally that some families were going through. Their houses were open, so they have people standing guard, making sure nobody else comes in their home to steal the
Yes.
rest of the possessions that they have
Sure,
left.
sure.
After their homes was destroyed.
Yeah.
These things were going on because it was no power in some of these areas when the tornado happened for weeks. There was
Absolutely.
no power. So once it came down to a certain time at night, now we're on alert and we're guarding our homes, making sure nobody comes in and harms us or takes our only possessions that we have left. I know another family, their mother, the house fell on top of their mother. You know what I mean? And like people were going through things that money could not replace.
Right.
I don't care how much RAM money you could have gave away, it still didn't replace some of the things that these people lost. Their mothers, lost homes that a family had for years, and
Right.
because of the damage, it was just irreparable, and
Yeah.
they couldn't, it couldn't be repaired.
Yes.
Some people didn't have insurance, you know what I'm saying, but have had these houses in their family for so many years, but due to already being in a financial crisis anyway, and then like I say, then the tornado hits a city that was already not the richest city in St. Louis. That area was already a poor
Had
area.
already been neglected.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
had already been neglected, as she
Decades-
stated,
decades
for
of neglect.
decades before, and then you hit it with a tornado on top of that.
And see, I can say from experience too, because I live in my home house, which is in North St. Louis.
Yes.
North St. Louis. I
Yeah.
could have moved anywhere.
Yes.
Lawyer, nurse, I could have moved anywhere. Elected official, I could have moved anywhere.
Home is
But
home, though.
Home is home. And
Yes.
it means a lot. And people
Yes.
say, oh, it's just a building, it's just possessions. But that's you talking
Not
over
to you,
here.
though.
Yeah, that's you talking over
Yeah.
there. It means everything to me.
Yes.
My grandfather paid his life savings $17,000 for that house in 1960.
Yeah.
He died before we could even move into the house. As we were packing up, moving from Car Square Village, packing up, moving
Okay.
over there. The thing is that he passed away. He never got a chance to see a fruit of his labor, but he knew that he had already purchased the house for his
Yes.
family to live in and to
Yes.
live comfortably. And so in my area, we just got a lot of the wind damage. So we have chimneys, and so my chimney caved in, had to have a new roof, had to have all new screens and everything, but it wasn't a loss of life.
Yeah.
Things I can fix.
That's right.
Things I can fix.
Yeah.
And so,
Definitely.
our hearts, our souls, everything, just not our empathy, everything goes out to these folks that were
Absolutely.
impacted by the tornado.
Yes.
And then, like you said, is how long is it going to take? It's going to take a long time. It's not, we can't just snap our fingers and
No.
stuff happen. Heck, we just got the release of the federal dollars.
Yep.
And then, and still I drive by and it's just it's just devastating. You drive down the street, and especially Martin Luther King. I kept talking to the people, and I was telling them, hey, y'all got to do something. These are major thoroughfares here. Major thoroughfares in the city of St. Louis. Get all of that stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, get all of that rubbish and stuff up. And that's the way I had to say it. Get it all up.
Yes.
You know, the thing is that because, you know, you still have developers and stuff, and we don't want all developers from outside of the area coming in, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing folks coming from, you know, foreign countries and things. We want to be able to fix up our own stuff.
That's right.
That's why I'm fighting for the grant funding for these businesses.
Yeah.
You know,
because
I don't want to move out. I don't want to move out there.
Are able to do the job right here in our city.
Right. I don't want to move way out
there. Able to do it right here in our city.
Exactly.
Prop Johnson.
People that want to cut grass.
Exactly. He got a bunch of kids down here that he's teaching to build up properties, and like if people are volunteering free, like just give us the material, and we gonna put the people in place to help build these up.
Exactly.
Like I say, we doing all that we can as a city to help each other, and we got to continue to do that. And like I say, it's time to vote, y'all. It's time to get up. Like I promise you, and I keep saying I'm not political, but if I am stressing it, that's how deep it is. I am stressing it. That's how deep it is. Because I'm just, you know, like I say, with the whole politics thing, you know, you try to understand it, of all the things that's going on, but it's hard to read the Constitution and really understand it, how it's written up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? To really, so you do need people to break it down to you and just tell me genuinely what does this mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To break it down, and I guess that's the purpose of the show today. And I thank you again for coming.
Thank you, sister. Thank
so
you so much. Thank
because
you.
like I say, I just met you Monday.
Yeah, thank you.
So I appreciate you coming to the show. To just talk to us, period, because like I say, I do have a following, and I want y'all to understand the importance of it coming from somebody that's from our city, that has dedicated her life to working in our city office, and it's other businesses in that building that she's in. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. That's why I just said something about the birth certificate, because you get your birth certificate in that same office that she's in. So I wasn't sure what all she handles.
Yeah, and
so that's why I said that in the beginning.
That office is also on the ballot, you know, because Michael Butler was the recorder of deeds.
Okay.
And so basically what the recorder of deeds do, they have not only the deeds to your home, they also have your birth certificate.
And that was that tall. He was there as well Monday. Okay,
right.
yeah,
Your
I do remember him.
And what else? What did I say? Birth certificate, death certificate, marriage license, all of those licensing things, you know, from beginning from the beginning of the time that you're born to when you die. You know, all of those come from the recorder of deeds office.
Yes.
And so I don't want to step out of my lane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so, you know, perhaps you can get some more information.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
but I was just shining light to the community. That's one of the offices that's in that building.
City Hall, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and the
but
point
see, I have
is,
a great relationship with them.
and that's beautiful.
And so, you know, working together,
Yes.
you know, it means a lot. And so, again, sister, I just want to end with you and thank you so much for having me on. It's
Absolutely.
a blessing.
It's been a pleasure talking to you because,
I
like
like this
say,
cross-generational conversation.
Yeah, and that's why I love this platform, and that's why I wanted to invite everybody out, because it gives us a chance to sit down and actually ask the person questions that during the press conference we're not able, because it's a time thing and you guys are wrapping it up, going as quick as you can, getting to the point and saying it, and we really can't go into the different subjects that we can't get into it.
Right.
So like I say, I do appreciate having this platform to be able to get into it with people like you. And like I say, I learned a lot about you and your profession today. You definitely helped me because there's a lot of, like I say, different business ventures that I want to get to, and to myself, as well as different people that need this information. And like I said, I want to also shine light that that there's so many different businesses in that one building that we need to know what
exactly
all,
what your city government is
what
doing.
your city government
Yeah.
is doing and where to go.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to shine light, like she just said, that where you go handle your deeds at for your marriage licenses. All of that's in that one building. You can go
just
to
gave me the
one-stop
idea.
shop.
You just gave me the idea for my next forum.
That's right.
What
One-stop
does
shop.
city government do?
What do you guys do?
That's good. That's
but
good.
it's
That's
everything in that building.
Right.
It
right.
is. It's everything in that
Exactly.
building. And like I say, it's not just that. And so y'all need to know what's all in that little building that sits on that corner of Tucker.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you where that building is. And like I say, I didn't even know that. Like I say, I'm learning as an adult. When you getting different jobs and you need different requirements and stuff like that, and then they send you down to this building to get all of this information. Right. And like I say, it's so many different businesses in that building, and you guys need to know what those different businesses are and how they are a resource to you.
Yeah, branches of city government.
Exactly.
Right.
So
and
you
so
need
what
to
I'm
get in
going to do,
there.
sister.
Yes.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that our next forum talks about all of the offices that are there in City Hall.
Please, because like I say, they need to know where they can go. And I guess that's the biggest thing for me as far as the bridging the gap and the generational issues that we're having now moving forward. I don't think that we're doing the teaching that we need to be doing with our younger people as far as the city that we're living in and how to navigate in that city.
Right.
So you need to teach your children these things. It's just as important as teaching them how to balance their checkbook. Okay, and how to balance their finances. They need to know where to go if they need to handle certain businesses. If it's a death in your family, you need to know where to go to get that information at or where to start. And like I say, it's so many different businesses in that one building that it's crazy. So you guys need to get the research of your city. And like I say, I'm going to get more information from Ms. Thompson, and whatever she shares with me, I will share it with you on my platform, My City, My Music, Extreme Cuts Podcast. Again, thank you for coming to talk with us
God
today.
bless you.
God
Thank
bless you as well. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming down. And is this your secretary, or what is her position? Because I don't want to misstate her position as far as what she is to you.
She is my executive administrator.
Okay. Executive administrator. And like I say, she was as well a help to me as well with putting this meeting together. So I want to thank everybody that's in her office and with her. Thank you guys for coming to talk with Extreme Cuts today. We really do appreciate you. And like I say, I hope I was a help to you guys this evening and teaching you guys about your city. So like I say, we're going to end this. And like I say, I'm going to put in this same caption of live because I went live today. So, and you guys will have the link to the rest of the show. And whatever other information that I have from this show, I will put it in this link so you guys can go and check it out. Again, we're saying no to Amendment 4 and 5. I'm saying that live on the air. We are saying no to Amendments 4 and 5. And as far as that other one, that Prop C, we're going to get into Prop C. I'm going to go live at another time, but we're going to get into Prop C. But again, thank you to all of my viewers that came to watch us at Extreme Cuts Podcast. I love y'all. And we're going to do what we got to do to stand up for our city. And again, like I said, united we stand. Divided we going to fall. So I need y'all to collectively get up. And if you are registered to vote, like I say, we just found out that you can't register because it's too late. But for those who are, we need y'all to get up and go in there and vote this August the 4th. Like I say, and if y'all need transportation, I will link up with the different people that are providing transportation to go and vote. So y'all just stay close to me. Stay close to me because I'm going to make sure y'all get all the information y'all need so we can get results, y'all. So I love y'all. We'll see y'all again. Thank you for tuning in with My City, My Music, Extreme Cuts Podcast with Queen Cutter April, bringing it like we're bringing it, y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
up, baby?
This is a Missy Elliott exclusive.
He just wanna get me hot. He just tryna get my twat. He wanna taste of my goodies. He say it tastes like butterscotch. Boy, you cannot get me locked. You try